Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Melton True Blue podcast. We are excited about our guest, Miss Emily Dunges here, which we'll dive more into here in just a few minutes. But I first wanted to say we have just celebrated our 2-year anniversary of the Melton True Blue podcast. So with episode 17, we've done this for 2 years. It's been really cool. Before doing this podcast, I went back to our very first one and watched those videos. And it's been really cool highlighting all our different employees and drivers. And it's been a neat experience and a neat road we've gone down. So we're excited to see us hit our 3-year anniversary, our 4-year anniversary, and continue to highlight those great employees like Miss Emily here. So we'll quit bragging about the podcast and move on to bragging about Miss Emily here, our safety journalist. Welcome to the True Blue podcast. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything new and crazy going on in life outside of work? I know we're getting some fall air. We're getting some September vibes.
Yeah, I've been just enjoying the outside. It's amazing. Yesterday, I walked outside. It was chilly,
I know for the first time I oriented a little pull. I'm probably getting too excited about it. I'm about to try to pull off some winter clothes, but the mornings have been nice and the evenings have been really nice. So getting outside more and not being 90 degrees at 7 o'clock has been fantastic. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And you are celebrating how many years at Melton Truckland? So
I celebrated 1 year in June.
1 year in June. Okay. And so talk to us about your journey. So tell us about, and let's go from the very beginning. How did you hear about Melton? How did you get here?
Well, one of my best friends, Erin Herring, she works here. She's been here for a while, and I know that she loved it. So I had an opportunity to come up where I needed to figure out where I was going, and I knew Melton would be a great place since I've heard great things about it.
Yeah. Now, remind me, did you start as an intern or just start? Oh, wait, I was trying to remember. So what was your internship?
So that was under Chris Vargas, but I was the safety training intern.
Yep.
So did a bunch of editing videos and working with the training, just editing the training.
And were you still in school at the time?
No, I had been graduating.
Oh, so you just graduated. This was your first adult job, I guess, was your internship. Okay, very cool. And where did you go to school at?
I went to OSU.
OSU. And what was your major?
I was elementary education.
Oh, wait, so this is nothing with elementary education. What happened?
I realized that might not be the path for me.
So, Beth, and is this the path for you now?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I feel incredibly lucky for where I ended up.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here, but
And sometimes that's the best way things happen, right? You don't know why you're here, how you ended up here, but you're here and it's been the best thing ever, right? And I always say this on a lot of podcasts, but I had no intentions in getting into transportation at all. And I started here as an intern as well and fell in love with it very quickly. I thought, maybe after 2 or 3 months, I was going to leave and go do oil and gas or something a little more, attractive, I guess. And then I got here and just fell in love with the industry. And now I'm a transportation nerd. I read freight wave articles on the weekends, which is just annoying at this point, honestly. And, going down the highway, I'm looking at every load. So especially, you being in safety, you're definitely, and so it's just been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm kind of in the same shoes you are, as that didn't intend to get into transportation, but now I have no interest in going anywhere else. So this is it for me. So, well, fantastic. So you came here as an intern, and studied under Chris Vargas, who, does a lot of our, safety videos, editing for those videos and stuff like that. And you guys really revamped the orientation process while you were in that role, correct?
We did a little bit. We worked with getting the videos out for that process. It was rad.
Yeah, because you guys roll them into the app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, and delete.
Yeah. So we mainly worked on editing the videos. I think Chris did more of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But editing the videos, all of that, getting that out there.
So you're used to being behind the camera. How are you in front of the camera now?
It's a little crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy being behind the camera.
Yeah, well, you're doing great. And I saw you do another video a couple weeks ago, right? Kind of just a little introduction. Yeah.
I was really nervous for that. But honestly, once...
Yeah, no, it's not that bad, right? It's just conversation. And you do the video for personal advance, right? Okay, yeah. Very important topic. Right, which we'll dive into more in your safety role. So you went from your internship and then you went into your current role, correct?
No, so actually I went my internship and then I was the safety career development coordinator, where I was making the outreach calls to the drivers.
And what does outreach calls look like?
What we did was we pick certain safety topics that are relevant to the quarter. So if we're seeing a certain safety issue, then we make a script based on that.
Okay. And then moved into your current role? Yeah. Okay. So you did a little bit of everything in safety. You know, it's kind of cool learning each different area. I feel like it really got you prepared for the role you're currently in, right? Learning a little bit about this area, a little bit about that. And now you're the safety generalist, which I think the title fits that perfectly. I think you know a little bit about everything, kind of the generalist of safety, right? And now your current role, what does that look like?
So right now it is a lot of hours of service steps. So I look at the violations that we get each day. And then I work on all of the citations that drivers receive and all of the violations and inspection that we receive. That's my main thing. And then just whatever they throw my way.
So are you still outreaching to drivers in your current role?
No, so that's Macy now.
Okay, so not as much. So it's more of you're doing the data kind of behind it?
Yeah, more behind the scenes.
Okay, and then kind of letting DMs, driver managers know what's going on?
Yeah, or like with the hours of service violations, sometimes we see an opportunity to coach these drivers if they're having some issues or if like they're brand new and they don't really quite understand the full, background of hours of service regulations the way they need to. So I do some of that, like calling and coaching.
Yeah. And I think we do such a great job here at Melton with the coaching aspect of it. I love the way you word it as an opportunity to coach, right? We have drivers here who've drove for 40 years and this is their first driving job, right? A very wide variety of drivers here. And, I think everyone, no matter what skill level they're at, needs some coaching, right? I think someone who's been in the industry for 30 years still needs some coaching somewhere, right? No one's this perfect driver or perfect employee. Even in our jobs, right? I'm still learning things every single day and still messing things up. Not every single day, but, maybe once or twice a week, right? But you learn from those mess ups and it's an opportunity to coach. And I think our management team inside the office is also a great job with that, right? I've messed several things up where it's hey, Taryn, you did this wrong, but here's the way to do it, right? And then when you go do it at the same time, like, okay, hey, now I know to avoid this mistake. And so I think with our drivers as well, that opportunity of coaching, I think they're really receptive to it as well. Especially the Melton standards that we have are a lot different than a lot of industry standards. I think we hold our drivers to a very high standard of excellence, which gives us a 70-year legacy that we have. And that's why we are now as a, safe carrier, an on-time carrier, and all those kind of things. And I think it comes down to just our whole team in general, but a lot of it comes from the safety team, right? And especially orientation as well. So after doing all of your different stints in safety, what would you say is your funnest part of your job or your favorite thing about your job?
Honestly, my favorite part is interacting with the drivers. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, coming from literally zero experience and not having any idea, like I didn't even have the knowledge of knowing what the difference between a box truck and a flatbed.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice it, think about it. But interacting with drivers and them even teaching me some things, it's so rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool that you're learning from the drivers as well, right? You're fairly new here too, and so learning from those drivers who have experience, and we call it the pit out here, the safety pit, right? And so you guys are right there, and drivers walk in all the time, and you guys are having a lot of face-to-face interactions with those drivers, which is really neat as well. Yeah, I think that face-to-face interaction goes a long way, especially when you talk to them on the phone, and you're like, oh, hey, I talked to you on the phone.
The best thing, like seeing people that I talk to on the phone and then them coming in.
Yeah.
Hi, I love it.
Yeah, because then they put a face to the name for them and a face to the name for you. It makes that relationship, even tighter and better. And we love seeing that. Let's see here. So as far as your job goes, I know it's kind of safety general, so you're kind of wearing a lot of hats, doing a little bit of everything. If you had to narrow it down to say what's your favorite part, not outside of talking to the drivers, as far as like the actual safety regulations, what's your favorite thing to coach on or most knowledgeable to coach on?
Oh, that's a good question. The one that I see often the most, so I have the most knowledge about, is split logging. And usually it's the reason why we show in violation is because a driver doesn't put themselves in sleeper berth overnight. Yeah. So that's why it's showing in violation later. So I coach that pretty frequently.
And it's all done on the e-logs now, right? On the geotab. Yeah, we just switched that over from from the Qualcomm to Geotab. Yeah, I'm still learning this as we go, right? So, and you were a part of that transition, right, from to the Geotab. How was that?
There were a little bit of, growing.
Sure.
But I think overall, I mean, I wasn't here for that long with the Qualcomm, so I can't speak on like how great that system was.
Yeah.
Like, overall, the switch to Geotab was.
You prefer it from what you've seen?
Yeah.
A lot more user friendly, I assume.
I feel like it is. I think there's maybe some different opinions sometimes, but I think once we get used to it.
Yeah, I think it's hard for anyone. If I've been an iPhone user for 15 years, right? If I went to Android, I'd be like, I have no idea how to operate this phone, right? And so same thing with our drivers and throughout the whole driver population, Qualcomm was huge. It still is very big. And so when we switched from Geotab, I kind of associated that going from iPhone to Android or Android to iPhone, right? It's a new system, it's a new interface, but if it benefits our drivers and benefits our company, that's the right thing to do. And those growing pains will happen, but in 5, 6, 7 years, those growing pains will be gone, right? We'll have it all figured out. And I think we've done a really, really nice job. In the short amount of time we had to switch, 1,400 trucks to Geotab. We got it done in under a year?
Yeah, I think it was under a year. I don't know the exact specific timeline, but
yeah, it's seeming very quick. And I know our IT team was working on that too.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of people working on that transition to make it seamless for our drivers, or as seamless as it could be. I think we did a really fine job with switching that over, and now we'll see the benefits of using that Geotab and having a more user-friendly system in the truck for our drivers. That's fantastic to see as well. Let me ask you this. When you got hired on, did you go through driver orientation?
You know what's funny? I did. I sat through a couple of classes, but actually next week I'm sitting through the entire...
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So what classes did you sit through?
I definitely sat through some of the load securement classes.
Did you get your hands dirty a little bit?
I think I opted out that time, but next week I think we're for sure actually getting our hands dirty.
Is anyone else going with you?
Yeah, I'm going with Macy.
Macy, okay, very cool. Yeah, you gotta have a friend to go with you. I encourage you to get your hands dirty a little bit. Throw a cart. Use the load bar. And I think it really gives you an appreciation, to what these drivers do.
I went on a truck trip.
Oh wow, when'd you do that?
It was I think it was April.
Okay, where'd you go? Laredo?
No, actually, we couldn't go to Laredo, but we went down to Houston and picked up and delivered.
Okay, who'd you go with? Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure.
Me.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
How was the experience?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, so much appreciation for our drivers, but honestly, it made me want to be a truck driver. Like,
for a second, yeah.
It's such a different culture and life. It goes on.
That's awesome that you've been on a truck trip. I did not know that. So that's really cool to see that. And I love that our employees get to do that, kind of, life in the day of a driver, right? And getting to ride with them and go out there and help secure the load and deliver the load and meet some of our customers as well. I don't think there's any better training that we can offer besides a truck trip. This, the most hands-on training you can get, right? And Ash is fantastic as well. And so she's a amazing driver. I know she was at the truck driving championship as well. Yeah. I think we just had a team sit there as well. And I think we went fairly far with one of our drivers. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, to the Nationals, which is awesome. I try to keep up with everything on social media, which is fantastic. Shout out to that driver, please, for making it to Nationals. That's really cool, and just kind of a cool bragging, right? We can put that in a trophy case that we have out front. But yeah, so really neat that you went on a truck trip. I always I have an inside joke with another employee here. I've drove a truck just around the parking lot, never with a trailer on it. But I said, I think I can drive a fully loaded, 48,000 pound flatbed trailer from our parking lot to deliver to a location in Dallas, Texas, without any accidents.
You think you can do that?
I think I can. I think I'm totally wrong.
I was terrified. I drove the truck into the inspection bay and I felt like I was in a grab.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't have that confidence.
Yeah, and my confidence is probably stupid, honestly. I have probably way too much confidence, so I think I would probably flip the truck, honestly, just because I think once you're on the highway, it might be a little easier, put on a cruise and go. But I think getting onto the highway, and getting out of the parking lot and then getting off of Dallas traffic. So my confidence level is probably way too high. And now all these drivers are going to hear this and roast me, which please do. Honestly, I deserve it. So yeah, and maybe I need to go to my CDL and try it out. But it's like, it's a thing for me, right? I have this confidence level, that I can do it, but I know I'm wrong and I can't do it. Especially, being on a truck trip as well. It's, you see that and you're like, it takes, how long to slow down? Is it 300 yards to slow down or something like that, right? And then, taking a wide turn, I'm used to pulling a boat trailer, which is like, 18 feet long, not 48 or 53 foot long, so it's very, very different. So I said, hats off to our drivers. They do a fantastic job. And without them, we have nothing, right? So it all goes out to our drivers. But wait, what would you say has been your biggest learning curve so far? I mean, you've had to learn the whole industry, right? Yeah. What would you say was one of the harder parts to learn?
Honestly, it was everything.
Yeah.
But still, I think even today, like the hardest thing for me to learn or like even grasp is the load securement part. Yeah. Just because I've never had to do anything like it. Like never had to think about it or anything like that. So it's just...
Well, and each load's so different, right? A steel coil is very different than steel pipes, right? And the securement behind that is very different. So, in orientation, I think we do a great job of having some of our customers send us, we call them dummy loads, right? So loads that we secure for them often. So some of our drivers can see those loads live at orientation, when they go out on the truck trip or go out with their trainer. They're like, I've seen this kind of load before. I've seen a coil before. I know how to, secure this, whether it's suicide shotgun or whatever it is. But when we get on the road, we're always finding new customers and always finding different kinds of loads, right? And we want to make sure that we're securing them to Melton standards and our customer standards, right? And so, yeah, securement's tough. Are you getting some of those inbound calls about securement now?
Not right now, no, but it's been nice because I used to sit where recruiting is, right. So I wasn't involved in like the conversations that safety has. Yeah. Now that I'm over here, it's been really great because I've learned a lot more than I was.
Yeah, you have a vessel of knowledge around you. Ty Rainey, Justin Waller, Melissa Steffen, Bryce, all these folks around you, and Chris as well. That you can lean on and say, pop your head over and listen to that phone call or pop your head over and ask a question real quick. And I always tell all of our employees, lean on those knowledge, right? Somebody's been here 17, 18 years, like they know a lot, right? Not everything, but they know a lot. So like, lean on that person and ask and learn and find out. And I think all of our employees do a great job of using the knowledge that we have in this building. So we have a lot of it, right? I know each month Lisa Mason sends out a little safety sheet of year anniversaries. I think this month we had like 106 years of combined Melton experience in the office, which was incredible. It's really neat to see that. So it's cool, and it's only going to continue to grow. And soon you'll be one of those professionals that someone else is like leaning their head over to your desk and say, "Hey, how do you do this?" And you're like, "Oh, this is easy. I'll show you how." Right. So it's really cool to see those employees develop and their careers grow and become that expert eventually. So. Fantastic. If we have any people listening that may want to come work at Melton, what would you say about Melton?
I would say the people are great, the drivers are amazing, and even if you don't have a ton of knowledge of the industry, still come on in. People are willing to teach you here, so I think that's the best thing you could ask out of a company.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell folks, we meet you where you're at, whether that's 0 years of experience or 20 years of experience. I think we do a great job of meeting them where they're at and being able to help them out, whether it's their first job ever in transportation. What did you do before Melton?
So I graduated and then I was in Vietnam.
That's right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Very different. Yeah, very different. But yeah, as I said, so we met you where you were at, and I was coming from nanny, and now you're working as a safety generalist, and I've learned a ton. I always tell everybody, take a step back and go back to Emily a year ago, right? You knew virtually nothing, and now you have so much more knowledge than you did day one in a short amount of time. A year is not that long. You look at it like a baby. A year, I don't think you're probably barely crawling, right? And now you're answering the phone, talking to drivers, and having those conversations with a lot of confidence and knowledge behind you. And so it's cool to see how far you've come in just 1 year to where you're at. And so take some pride in that for sure. But I can't agree more with you about the drivers and the people. I think our environment is fantastic. Our facilities are great. And just the culture here is unmatchable, right? And I know it's cheesy cliche to say that and hear that. I know I've said it in the podcast several times, but I can't say it enough because it's so true, right? I always say I don't say things that aren't true. And one thing I can say without a doubt is the people here are fantastic. Especially the people just here on this floor. We're at my wedding. We're great friends. I go play golf with outside of work and hang out with outside of work. And if I ever needed to call someone at 2 a.m, they'd be there for me, right? And so that to me is you can't put a price on that, right? It's just something that I have never seen another company offer like we do, and it's not even a have to offer, it's just we want to, right? People here become friends, and that's great. I'm sure you met a lot of friends here at Melton as well. So fantastic. What else are we missing? I feel like we learned a little about your job, a little about you, a little bit about Melton. Anything else? Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. My last question for you. I heard this fun fact today. How long do you think the Great Wall of China is?
Oh God, I'm stupid. I don't know.
Just take a guess. This is a mind-blowing stat. Do you want a hint? It's long. That's your only hint. It's in miles. Yeah. Yep. How many miles long do you think the Great Wall of China is? 800 miles. It is 13,000 miles long. 13,000 miles long. Yep. Insane. Yeah. We're in on that mind-blowing fact right there. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Melton True Blue podcast. Once again, my name is Taryn. And thank you so much for listening and looking forward to seeing you on the next podcast.